Let's do a little cheers.
Cheers.
Great to have you.
Cheers. You know, in San Francisco, you get to wear many hats. Porn is actually just what I just started doing. It's just
new and fresh and exciting.
I fell into it. I was on a couch, and all of a sudden, its legs are up. I've been painting since I was 13, 14 years old, and I actually did it mostly to get out of gym. I did not want to do gym at all, so I did an art class in my freshman year, and I did higher level art, which I somehow managed to cram enough shit in my schedule, including that, to get out of gym in high school, which was next to impossible to do. I used to be such a math dork, and I lost all interest in it once I hit algebra. I'm like, fuck this. That's not a number, that's a letter. I'm not interested. As far as porn goes, like I've been doing sex work since I was 18. I got to college my freshman year, and I was like,
oh, you were a late bloomer.
Well, I was like, I wonder if I could get paid for it. And then I did. So I guess I became a hooker. Oh, sorry, I just got booze all over me. And then
that's okay. The whole couch is spilling on me. It's getting way late with bubbles.
You come here, you gotta wear your splash guard.
I've just gotten back from Cobb, which is up north, and I call up my friend Damon, and I called him up out of the blue, and halfway through my sentence, he's like, "Xavier, I have an emergency." Yeah, what? Okay, I need you to come up to Portland and shoot some porn. All right, when? Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.
Wow, that's the kind of phone call I get. Hey, Vern, you got to come right now. Stat, you got to do some porn.
I got to turn my phone off because my people keep calling me in the middle of the night.
We had like computers driving up to Portland trying to find dudes who would get on camera for bucks. Wow. It was two of us plus Damon. We had $1,400, which is next to nothing. We had no one lined up for the actual shoot. We had 2 days to do it. And the next day we still didn't have enough footage. So I took one for the team but got paid for it.
A Star is Born.
It was glorious. It was fantastic. It's really, it's total fantasy in the sense that it's not sex. You're like this for a while.
Whoa.
And then, since there's only one camera person, because there's no budget, you have to stay in that position, and you go and you take photos.
Agony.
And then, it's really, really, really long. Even that shoot was one of the more organic ones I've done.
And all that for $1,400.
No. That was the whole film's budget. I got $2.
Oh.
And that's only because I was doing lots of free work. Everyone else was getting $100. I've been a hooker for almost 10 years now, but as far as porn goes, it's a whole different ballgame.
Now, do you wear the hooker stripper clothing with holes, less holes?
No, I kind of dress skanky as it is, so I don't have to change into anything. It's hard work.
It looks like
That's why I have to stay hard.
Yes, and work out. So tell us a little bit about the starving artist life in San Francisco.
It's really not all that bad. If you're going to be a starving artist, San Francisco is the city to do it in. When you have San Francisco, all I need are art supplies, a bit of clothing, pack of Camel Crushes, and I'm good to go.
And so tell me a little bit about this new series that you have. You've painted at the Box Factory, you've painted the walls here, the big pandas. We've had many a fun night together, but this is a very interesting, different style of work that you have going on here. What about this doggy Jesus that we have going on here? That's a very interesting...
This series is actually called Sex Workers of San Francisco and Other Mythical Figures. I feel like sex workers are generally seen as one-dimensional. And really, every sex worker I've ever met has been sex worker plus something else, sex work is a means to an end, at least for me it is. I love it, I love what I do, but for me it's the means by which I can afford being an artist. And so I've got Puppy Jesus, I've got Christ Pantocrator, which is Christ as a judge. It's a kind of traditional Byzantine imagery of the judging Christ. He used to be like this, but over the years his fingers went kind of this kind of claw thing.
Now he's got this sort of LA bro kind of thing
this
going
is
on.
actually Damon Dog, who I took a photo of for that. That is my wonderful, somewhat crazy but wonderful ex, who's also a sex worker, and a self-portrait. And this is a good friend of mine, Gavin, who's also a sex worker / porn actor.
And is that Clifford, your interpretation
That's his
of
puppy.
Clifford?
That's his puppy. His puppy's named Seth.
Awesome. So what are some other upcoming things for you?
Well, I mean, I've worn many, many hats in San Francisco. I've also been involved in the drag scene, and I've been taking a break because I was focusing on visual arts. I am desperately trying to finish up the sequel to my to the play I put on last year, which was called 28 Queens Later. And the sequel is tentatively titled 28 Queens Laterer.
Sounds riveting.
It's a story of, in the first installment was kind of a tribute to old school zombie flicks. More going towards the alien invasion genre. And I had Vane Hain actually casted as my main villain. Hi, Vane.
I make a good villain. Trust me.
Yes, it's frightening. So I'm aiming for July for that, and I've been talking to Dan Karkoska about maybe doing that and integrating a visual art show with it, because I'm poor and I need to sell some art, and drag doesn't make you any money.
I have to say that I loved your last art show before you took your little country hiatus, where...
Oh, that was fun.
That was really fun, and you had everybody... you invited everybody, you had little pieces up that were affordable.
It was called cheap,
yeah,
just like me.
And you can name your price, and I think a bunch of us came and bought art and totally supported you. And
one of the issues I always struggle with as an artist is knowing my own worth, and also having an issue with the art market in general, and how I feel, that prices are blown out of proportion. Galleries take a huge cut of profits, and really, I mean, as an artist, I like to make money off of what I do, but it's not really what I have in mind when I do it. In fact, once the painting's done, I really don't give a fuck about it.
Right,
it's
you've
done.
Expressed yourself.
It's done, it's there. I mean, if I can sell it, great. Whether it pays rent or buys me a sandwich, I'm happy. Knowing that, hey, there's a little something I've done in my friend's apartment. It's like having constant presence and totally watching over them at all times.
Wow.
It's powerful.
That's
really
a control
powerful.
freak.
I am a control freak. In fact, at my last porn shoot, I was the bottom and I was in charge.
All right. I just want to say thank you so much for coming and sharing my time, our time. And thank you so much for doing the live painting.